Oftentimes when we see a child acting out in public, we put the blame for this child's actions on the parent and say that it is a reflection of the parent. But should this really be the way that it is? I'll be talking about this subject right after this. Hey there, Salina here, and recently I saw a video involving the mannequin challenge where there were about 15 to 20 men having a shootout for their mannequin challenge. And the caption of this video was, "This is why we need black fathers. These boys were raised by single mothers." And there are three things wrong with that caption. Number one is that they are putting all the blame on single mothers and not any blame on the fathers. Number two is the fact that they're assuming all of these 15 to 20 men were raised by single mothers. And number three, which is the one that I will be talking about in this video, is the fact that they are, again, blaming the actions on the parents instead of blaming the actions on the men themselves. So the very first point that I want to make in this video is that children are not things to be controlled, because many people act like they are. Children have their own mind and their own thoughts, and they will make their own choices. We as parents can only be the best role model that we can to our children and give them the tools and the knowledge to make the right choices. But at the end of the day, regardless of how close to a perfect parent we are, we cannot make these choices for our children. We cannot be there 24/7 for them. So we can be the best parent that we can be for them, but that does not mean that they will be the best child or that they will turn out to be good. Sorry, Al, he wants me to play with him. This is actually something that I realized a long time ago watching people that I grew up with do things that were against the way that they were taught. And obviously the reasons that they were doing these things was because those were the choices that they wanted to make. I can't remember if I already said this, but we as parents cannot be there with our child 24/7 making decisions for them. And while we do greatly influence the things that our children do, and while we can scare them or teach them to make different choices, we cannot make those choices for them. An example of this would be a video that I watched quite a while ago where there was protesting going on, and I think it was turning into a riot. I'm not 100% sure. But a mother saw her son out there protesting, and she went off on him. She pulled him out of the crowd and told him to go home and to get out of the streets. It was clear by the mother's reaction that her son was not raised to be out in the streets doing what he was doing, but that did not stop him from making his own choice, which leads me into my next point. Instead of the child's behavior being a reflection of the parent's reaction should be a reflection of the parent. The way that I was able to tell that this boy was not raised to be out in the streets doing what he was doing was by the mom's reaction. She reacted in a way that let me know that he was not raised that way. And sorry if the camera is a little crooked, my son keeps knocking the table. So as I've said, we as parents can only be the best role models that we can, and to give our kids the tools and the knowledge to make the right choices. Just because you have a bad child does not make you a bad parent. And I think this is really important to know. You can do the best that you can as a parent and be the perfect parent and still end up with a child that chooses to make the wrong choices. Children have to learn from themselves, and children are going to do what they want to do. Some children want to do what they're supposed to do and make the right choices. Other children have to learn for themselves. And this whole video is not to say that there is nothing that we as parents can do to guide our children to do the right thing. Our children are greatly influenced by the things that we do. They are greatly influenced by the things that we say to them and the things that we teach to them. So maybe some of those men in that original video that I was talking about were out in the streets because that is what they saw, because they were not taught to do otherwise. But I'm sure that some of their parents, some of their mothers, whether they were raised by single mothers or not, told them that what they were doing out in the street was not okay. But that did not stop them. We cannot control our children. So, for example, if I have this and I tell my son that this is the block that goes in, and I give him the tools and the knowledge to solve this problem, but he decides instead to try this block. Obviously, this isn't going to fit. But again, this was his choice. Now, unless I take his hand and I physically make him and force him to make the right choice, he is going to have to learn on his own. And since I cannot control every single action that my son does, that is going to have to be the method. He is going to have to learn on his own what is right and what is wrong, but that is in no way a reflection of the way that I parent my son. I gave him the tool to solve the problem. Whether or not he uses this tool, the knowledge that I have given him is entirely up to him. He is his own being that makes his own choices. All in all, if you take anything from this, at the least, if you see a child acting out in public, instead of saying things like, if that was my child, they wouldn't be acting like that, or all they need is a butt whooping, because I'm pretty sure some of y'all watching this video got butt whoopings every week, if not every day, for doing things that you were taught not to do, because butt whoopings are not the save-all. They do not solve every single problem that kids have. So instead of automatically becoming judgmental about the situation, just simply don't judge. You never know what they are going through. The child could be hungry or tired. They could be autistic. They could have just lost someone. They could suffer from stress and anxiety. They could be OCD. Or maybe there's something that the parent is going through so that they can't deal with the problem the way that they want to, or the way that the situation that they are in is allowing them to. Don't just judge right off the bat. You never know what is going on. All we can do as parents is to support each other and let them know that they are not alone in their problems. None of us have perfect kids, and none of us are perfect parents. For those of us who are trying, number two, who are doing the best that we can, you are not a failure because your child isn't making the right choices. They are going to make their own choices. What you can do as a parent is continue to be the role model and continue to give them the knowledge and to continue to give them the tools. When they are ready, they will use them. So please tell me what you think about this video, about situations like this, down in the comments below. So that is going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. New video every Wednesday and sometimes Sunday. You can check out another one of my videos right here, and you can subscribe right here. Thank you so much, and until next time, deuces.